Thank you for joining us here on Local Notes, the show that gives you all the notes on everything that's happening in Peel. I'm your host, Declan Roberts, and today I'm joined with certified nutritionist and author of Get Naked in the Kitchen, Brianna Santero. Hi, Brianna, how are you?
I'm great, how are you?
Thank you for joining us today.
No worries, thanks for having me.
First and foremost, how did you come up with that name?
It was actually a long brainstorming process. I knew there was a name out there that was perfect for the book, and I was driving home from the cottage one day, and it just came to me, and I realized that it was the perfect name for the book because I am all about showing people what is really in the food that we're eating. So undressing the food, taking off all the marketing, taking off all the labels, and just really looking at what's inside. And that's what this cookbook is about. It's not about judging a book by its cover, it's about what's inside.
Well, let's go back here looking at the book. As you said, don't judge the book by its cover, but when we go to the back, she's fully clothed.
Yeah, exactly. Good thing.
So first and foremost, what inspired you to create your own book?
Well, I really wanted people to fall in love with food and fall in love with cooking and getting back into the kitchen. So often these days, we are out of the kitchen. We're not there. We're not creating our own food. We don't know what's in the food that we're eating. So I wanted to create a book that would inspire people to get back in the kitchen, have some fun doing it, and show them that, you know, we can have fun and we don't have to actually look at food as being complicated. So that's what this book is about. It's about simplicity.
You know what I think it is for me as a male? My problem is I don't have a problem cooking. I'm just not good at it. So I try to cook, but I have a lot of bad dishes. Will your book teach me how to avoid that?
For sure it will. And the cool thing about this book is that there are recipes that are completely simple. There's only a few ingredients in them, so anybody could do it. There's actually recipes for kids, so kids can actually start cooking and getting involved in the kitchen as well. And then there's recipes for people who want a little bit more of a complicated dish. So it's got the full spectrum.
So what do you find is one of the most biggest misconceptions about cooking? What do you find that is? Like, do you think it's just boiled down to laziness, or we just have busy lives?
You're gonna love me for saying this, but I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that we can't do it or that it's complicated and difficult, and we don't need to make it difficult. We can actually learn simple recipes that only take a few ingredients, and the thing is, it's just about getting started. If you're not a good cook today, it doesn't mean that you're not gonna be better tomorrow.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, I'm positive.
Okay, so we have some foods here on the table.
Yes.
Why don't we talk a little bit about these foods, and let's go into detail exactly what they are.
Yeah, for sure. So today I wanted to show 4 different recipes from the book, and the reason is that I wanted to talk about comfort foods. So when we start eating healthy, oftentimes we think we have to give up on the foods that we love so much. So my whole thing is that we do not. We can have the foods that we really love and in a healthy version. So the first one that we've got is pancakes.
Everyone loves pancakes.
I know, I do too. I feel like it's like a Sunday morning ritual or something you do on the weekend.
Yes, and you know what else I love about pancakes? You can bring the whole family together to make pancakes.
Exactly, exactly. It brings the family together on the weekend. I know when I was growing up, my grandfather always used to make pancakes for me, so definitely holds a special place in my heart. These pancakes are different though.
How?
So instead of actually making them with white flour that's really processed, they're actually made with brown rice and quinoa. So you just soak it overnight, and then in a blender in the morning, you blend up the brown rice and quinoa, a little bit of rice milk, some pear, some coconut, vanilla, and that's it.
And I actually have tasted that, and it tastes amazing.
Right? I know, it's so simple.
So let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, so this one is one of my favorites, which you actually get to taste test today. So this is kale chips. Have you ever had kale chips before?
I've actually had potato chips, but I've never had kale chips.
Right. So potato chips are the most common, and the issue with potato chips is they're very inflammatory for the body. They're deep fried, and kale chips taste incredible. So this is actually a sour cream and onion version.
It's my favorite flavor too.
Okay, good, perfect. And they're so easy to make. You just take some kale, and then I've got the ingredients up here. So we've got some green onion, apple cider vinegar, tamari, some tahini, which is ground up.
Hold on for a second. This tastes amazing.
Right? Yeah.
And this is healthy.
Yeah, so
and it's not
Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh my God, yeah. I think I'm just gonna take this with me.
Yeah, exactly. You can have it. You can have it. I'll stock load you.
Okay, so let's move on to the next thing.
Yeah. Okay, so this one is one of the most favorites, I would say. This is mac and cheese. Have you ever had mac and cheese?
I think everybody's had mac and cheese.
Yeah, exactly. So we love that creamy orange sauce. It's so delicious. But the issue is most mac and cheese is really not that healthy for us. And a lot of times people want to go dairy-free because they find they have a hard time digesting dairy. So the cool thing about this recipe is that it's actually gluten-free and dairy-free.
But does it have the same taste?
Well, it does. It actually has some ingredients in it that make it have the same taste. So there's nutritional yeast, and that is what gives it this sort of cheesy texture.
Right.
There's miso in it, which is going to give it that sort of saltiness that you get from the cheese. The orange comes from butternut squash. So you're not actually getting the dairy, but it looks absolutely amazing. I saw you looking when I was scooping it out earlier.
I have a question though. What about the people that are watching this show right now and they have a busy life and they have no time to prepare?
Yeah.
How do they get around their obstacles?
Well, this is actually super easy because it's done in a blender. So you just cook up the squash, and I actually, to make this one, I made it today before I came, but I cooked the squash yesterday. So you can just cook the squash, you know, a couple of days ahead of time if you want, when you're in the kitchen, or on Sunday if you're home and you've got some time. And then whenever it's time for dinner, throw the ingredients into a blender, blend it up, throw it over your noodles, and you're good to go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're on to our last one.
Yes. This is a fan favorite, cupcakes.
Oh, I do love cupcakes.
Me too. So cupcakes, I find, are one of those things that nowadays people have this sort of culture around cupcakes. You see cupcake shops, people go in and they're just so excited to pick out their cupcake. And I love cupcakes too. So just because we're healthy doesn't mean we have to give up on the sweets. And these cupcakes are so incredible because they are actually made with carrots. Right, so it's a carrot cupcake. There you go, right? Beta carotene, good for eyes. And then they're also sweetened with applesauce, maple syrup. The base of them is going to be whole spelt flour, so it's just the whole grain that's ground up. The fat comes from coconut oil, which is a medium chain fatty acid, so that's actually going to give you energy. So that's a bonus.
So we pretty much have everything covered.
Yeah.
And let me ask you another question. How long would each of these foods take you to make?
It would depend. They'll be different. So the kale chips, I could actually prepare those for dehydration in about 5 minutes. The pancakes, you have to soak the grains overnight, but making the batter in the morning takes about 2 minutes, and then you just, cook the pancakes. The mac and cheese probably take about 15 to 20 minutes to prepare in terms of your time, and then the cupcakes would probably be about 20 minutes.
So we have a whole bunch of food done very efficiently.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of times left over for our regular day.
Exactly.
So I think we definitely did learn a lot.
Perfect.
We want to thank you very much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We really appreciate it. And again, the name of the book is Get Naked in the Kitchen. So if you have anything else you would like to say about your book, here's your time.
Definitely give it a try. Jump in and have fun getting naked in the kitchen.
Thank you very much for joining us here on Local Notes. Get Naked in the Kitchen by author and certified nutritionist Brianna Santero. For more information, go to www.TheNakedLabel.com.